Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Cool Down. We've got four of the best. Well, should I say three of the best, rather, because I'm always here. But we've got Nick, the King of the North.
Are you always here, man? Nick has hosted twice, man.
He's hosted twice. No, fair enough. That's fair enough. But you always here, though, Selo, and so is Wonga. And Nick's not doing too badly because today, ladies and gentlemen, Silo is making his 25th cap for Goal Lounge. So let's give it a little bit of a round of applause for the man. And also, I didn't give the mention, but last week, Wonga got his 25 caps as well. So, hey, Wonga, Wonga. Nick is officially 3 episodes away. So you're nearly there, Nick. You might be coach of Tux, but you haven't reached your 25 caps here yet on Goal Lounge.
I need to work a bit harder. I need to cool down on the social life.
The man was you know how Nick is, man.
It's COVID, and I shouldn't have a social life, but you know what happens, eh?
You know what happens. Yeah. The man knows how to play hard. He knows how to work hard. That's what you do, eh, Nick?
That's what I do. And play hard, work hard, play hard. That's how it works.
I think from now on we need to call him Coach Nick.
Oh, Coach. No, I'm calling. I mean, we've been calling him.
Coach.
You know, I feel bad for there's a thing that happened when we used to play together. I used to call him Nicky Beach, and a lot of the guys in the team misconstrued that sort of nickname and they called him something else. Yeah. We'll let you call
that nickname. No. I don't like that nickname at all. I think Wonga is laughing because he knows exactly what it is.
Yeah. Guys, let's give a little shout out to Nick there. Thank you for joining us, man.
Nicholas, how's it?
And also special shout out to Olivia's because they make the best bread in town, guys. Pastries, bread. Nicholas, that's his family's business. It's a family business. It's in Joburg.
Yeah, it's in Northcliffe there, yeah.
Where is it? We'll get some bread, man.
Yeah, we'll get some bread. We'll get some bread for Goal Lounge's next episode. And then also Nee's here. Oh, sorry.
Do they have some croissants?
Oh, they got lots of croissants. A lot of croissants. Yeah. And
how's it Nee Mills?
Yeah, Nee Mills. But he says
thanks, Nee. You know what's quite nice about this whole thing is there's a couple of guys that I've played with in the team that I'm actually now the head coach of. So it's quite cool that they're supporting. You got Nick Killis, you got obviously Claudia and Wonga with us on air. We got Mosa normally. We got Nee and Nico, obviously, sort of pulling the viewership up for us. And then Jason should be here. Jason should be watching. He has become somewhat of a stalwart when it comes to watching us on Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Yeah,
proper. That's good, man. That's good. I think you should organize a friendly match. The old Crocs versus the new guys, man. So Claudia,
do I coach the new guys, or do I play for the old guys? Oh, we gotta make a call here. I don't know, Claudia.
So you started goals for the old Crocs, and then for the first half and in the second half you coached the kids.
The funny thing is, Silo, Claudia will tell you, I never played much when I was part I offered a lot of water to the players on the side and a lot of motivation.
But that's why coaching was perfect for you, man. You had the stuff there. You had the makeup.
Yeah, no, I had the makeup. I would have loved to have played a bit more, but to be fair, I had a PSL goalkeeper ahead of me. So what can you do, huh?
Yeah, with those baby T-Rex arms.
Come on.
It's tough.
I save everything.
It's tough being a goalkeeper, man. Goalkeepers, there's only one position on the field for the goalkeeper. So
it's tough.
You're playing or you're not.
And I'll actually speaking about goalkeepers. I'm going to go off a little bit of topic here, but on topic, Newcastle have a bit of a dilemma at the moment with Darlow. We talking about him starting for England potentially, or getting a call up at least. But I tell you what, Wonga, you probably watched the game on the weekend. Dubravka is just a better goalkeeper. He hasn't played in 6 months, but he's just a better goalkeeper. You just feel safer when he's in. So I'm not saying Darlow is not good enough. He doesn't warrant the place. But when I see him, his technique, it is it's a dilemma. I mean, I'm not a Steve Bruce fan, as you all know. But for me, if you've got a better goalkeeper in your squad, what does the coach do? I would hate to be in Steve Bruce's shoes. It looks like Dubravka is keeping his place, which is very unfair on Darlow.
Is he starting tonight?
So I haven't checked the lineup because you can check, but I think there was talk that he is going to keep his place. So
no, Darlow starting.
The Darlow keep his place, okay. But yet again, Dubravka was really good against Arsenal. First game back after a while, and it is tough because there's only one position, and you can play 300 games, and your debutant won't touch the field. Your debutant might be very good. So, yeah. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate it. I keep the boys hydrated.
Our work colleague has your back there, Nick. So don't worry about that, man. And Jason also says, surely long-term, Newcastle won't be able to keep both happy. Similar situation to what Arsenal had. And we saw what happened with Arsenal. Martinez ended up going to Aston Villa.
But guys, do you know? I know we haven't probably started the show properly, but do you guys know that Arsenal is already looking to sell the Icelandic keeper they just signed in June? The guy who fumbled that free, they're already looking to sell him, guys.
Those dudes are killing careers. Arsenal are killing careers.
I couldn't believe it.
But also, guys, when they did the research, right, there's this French account that I follow. They even said, how can Arsenal be signing this goalkeeper? This goalkeeper stats are like
horrendous.
Rubbish. Like save percentages, everything is just rubbish, guys. The only thing I think he had was like long passes or something, like pass completion or whatever. But otherwise, everything else is like poor, guys. So Arsenal, I don't know, I think like 4 million or 5 million on him, and now they're really looking to sell him and trying to get another second choice. Because you saw against Newcastle, he didn't start.
Yeah, that was hectic. That's a message. Like, ways. Like you could see, he's not going to risk it. Not going to give that guy a second chance even. Surprised he did it with that guy. And then everyone else, they get second, 5, 10 chances.
Hey, no. Arteta can't be affording to give anyone chances. After that run that he had, imagine giving another player a second chance, and there goes he was one game away from a sack, that man. Let's be honest.
To be fair, we will speak about them, but they were dead average against a very gallant Newcastle, but a very poor.
Guys, Nick is changing nappies. When did this happen?
Yeah, the man's got a baby. The man's got a baby. Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause for that, Nick. You go change your nappies. You go change your nappies. All right, guys, but tell me. Talk to me about your team. 4-1 win away from home against a bunch of kids. I saw quite a cool little photo. I think maybe someone posted on the group. I think I might have seen it on Twitter as well. Was the under 18 or under 21 squad in there next to the Quantum or the bus where they're ready to go home, but it's a small little minivan and it says break night out against the England's best on our way back to the digs. I thought it was brilliant because that is an unbelievable night for those youngsters. And you know what? To take Liverpool league champions with some of the guys that start normally 1-1 at half time, that's they did all right.
No, but it's amazing, man. Like kids, like what? The average age was 18.8 old against a team that averaged like 26 years old. Those guys, 5 of them weren't even born when James Milner made his debut. So, and most of them were probably only 2 years old, 1 or 2 years old when James Milner made his debut all those years back for Leeds. So, hey, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's a respectable scoreline, I think. 1-1 at halftime and a 4-1 in the end. Klopp had to bring on Thiago and Firmino to actually take them over the line. So they had to bring on players that play for their national teams, players that play for Brazil and Spanish national teams to take them over the line because the other guys weren't doing the job. So, hey, man, big ups to Aston Villa. Well done to them. They won't forget that night. But, yeah, well done to Liverpool to eventually get over the line.
Full disclosure, guys, I just want to say something. I mainly only watched the Liverpool game this FA Cup, and seeing as that Selo is somewhat of a closet Liverpool fan, I don't have anything else to say for the rest of the show. So thank you, Selo, for sharing the sentiment there.
Hey, man,
and telling us exactly what happened.
I didn't even watch the game, guys, so I wouldn't even know what happened. But I I watched the game. I watched the game via social media, and I watched the highlights. Yeah, man. And the kids showed up, and that kid scored. Obviously, we were saying that Barcelona signed him, and I remember that signing. I remember it, but he left. He left Barcelona within.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, man. I'm curious about like what actually happened there. So why he only lasted 6 months. Regardless, Barcelona clearly saw something in him. What I liked, when he started the game, his name is Louis Barry. When he started the game, I was like, yeah. They were like, oh, there's so much hype around this guy, and I thought he wasn't bad. But the confidence he had when he took advantage of I would say, I mean, it's harsh to say it's a bit of an error from the centre half. Was the one youngster we did have in the team, Rice Williams. He kind of just got his body in the wrong position, didn't really read the sort of mistake that happened in the center of the midfield, because between Curtis Jones and Henderson, they should have dealt with the player before the pass was made.
Yeah.
But regardless, Louis Barry took full advantage, and the confidence he had as soon as he was through on goal was fantastic. And also there was that talk about after the game about him exchanging shirts with Fabinho, which is great, because he saw his shirt. And his coach was like, "You idiot! What are you doing? It's your debut shirt. Go get it back."
It's a debut shirt.
Yeah, the Liverpool players are supposed to just give their shirts away there. Otherwise, they must keep both shirts.
Yeah, but
my brother was telling me after the final whistle, the Villa players were so quick to just take their shirts off and run to the closest player.
I would have done exactly that. I mean, what an opportunity. You haven't been playing, and all of a sudden, bam, it's FA Cup against the league champions. And credit to, I would say credit to Liverpool, but I mean, Liverpool played pretty much their first team with one or two changes, and I mean, you were saying, Wonga, you didn't watch the game, but you were loving Twitter. You were loving Twitter. Why were you loving Twitter so much before I get carried away? As why I explain the things.
Oh no, the guys were obviously just mocking the fact that Liverpool were playing an underage team. Just the memes for me were were ridiculous. Just there were many of them. I remember I think there was one where they showed a scene in Star Wars when they killed the young Jedi's. I think that's when they said, I think they compared that to Klopp. I think bringing on Mo Salah against the youngsters, and I was like, yes, those guys. But they're just slaughtering Klopp in that sense. But it was the game was done.
But they were hacked.
You rewind a year ago. Rewind a year ago. Liverpool played Villa.
Yeah.
And
same thing, yeah.
Liverpool didn't have enough. They didn't have enough time between their games. I think they went to the FIFA World Club Cup and they played a bunch of kids. And Villa played their full strength team, and I think they hammered them.
5-0.
Yeah.
5-0.
I mean, there were a few Villa fans also saying, "Oh, you guys are getting excited about a win against kids," but they did exactly the same a year ago. So
yeah.
A win's a win.
Where, I mean, guys were hacked though. Guys were literally coming on, and your influencers, so to speak, or your key opinion leaders, as Nee would say if he's watching the show. A lot of the guys were saying this is some bullshit because they've come out there and they were terrible. I mean, they scored early. But the psychology of players, if you know you should be playing the best, you're not really motivated against the game against 18-year-olds where you've traveled away. You're not sure as well if you're going to get COVID when half the squad has COVID. But you've scored early, so you've somewhat, toned it down, which is why the goal comes in the first place, or why they suffer the goal, because they've dropped down that intensity. So guys were saying this is pathetic. You're playing your first team against 18-year-olds. They should be 4-0 up at halftime. But the motivation there from a player's perspective, I think that is quite a tough thing to get by. Second half, obviously, like you said, Silo, they brought on the big guns. They brought on a big gun in Thiago. And Thiago, thankfully, is he's at that point where if you got to look at the Liverpool squad currently, I'm glad that you mentioned the Club World Cup, Nick, because if we're looking at what Liverpool have done over the past 2 seasons and how it's carried over and they haven't had much of a break, they could say the hunger is somewhat waning. And in particular in this game where the motivation isn't as high because they are playing kids, you've got to play in Thiago, who's come into the squad. He has been injured. He hasn't played many games, so he needs to prove himself a little bit. Although we all know the quality of the man, he still wants to kind of prove his state or his worth to the club. So I think that was the benefit of us having a Thiago on bench. And the irony is that we needed a world-class flipping player to help us get the result over the line, that's the thing that's upset a lot of Liverpool fans. And also after 3 disappointing games on the trot, not scoring anything. So that's where does that leave us now? Are we in good stead for the next game? Aren't we in good stead to the next game? And then it brings us to the point of this flipping FA Cup draw, Selo. The Man United Liverpool draw. I mean, this is tonight's game. We might as well touch on it as well. I mean,
Crouch.
United are playing, pulled by Crouch. Yeah, United are playing Burnley tonight. If they win, they go top of the log. So, I mean, that puts pressure on Liverpool. Especially for the game of the weekend where Liverpool again are facing Man United. If they do not win tonight, then obviously you could say the ball's back in Liverpool's court, but all the psychological stuff is going to happen. So from the Liverpool aspect, yeah, man, that's the FA Cup's the FA Cup. We know, Selo and I spoke about this on Thursday. Klopp doesn't take it as seriously, which I think he should be because it's silverware and it's something he hasn't won. But yeah, that's pretty much my perspective. I don't know, any final thoughts on
I think in terms of that, it is a lot. It's very easy to say, and if you understand football versus being a football fan, it's very different. Yes, in hindsight, Liverpool should have been 4-0 up at half time. But no football game is easy, especially if you're playing against an organized unit. So Villa's under 18s or under 21s are always going to be organized because they're going to be coached and they're Premier League reserve side or academy outfit. So it's not necessarily playing against a bunch of guys that have walked off the street and they're playing. So first and foremost, the task isn't as easy as first thought. Yes, the quality difference is massive. Secondly, you've mentioned that the stimulus. Is there a stimulus? There's probably not a stimulus for the likes of, well, I was going to say James Milner, but definitely not him. But the likes of the other starters that normally always play, that maybe aren't, it is, you're traveling away from home. You've got this sort of persona of why are we actually even playing this game? Should the game have actually even gone ahead? I think that was also one of the questions in the media. So, I mean, it's not just a simple task. The fact that they got the result is all that matters. A cup game is a cup game. You win on penalties, it's the same as a 4-1 win. So at the end of the day, for me, the FA Cup has a lot of history. You need to go on and try and win it. And for me, I'm happy that Villa put a bit of a show on Friday night. But I think for Liverpool fans, it's a win. Next week they beat Man United this weekend. They won't be talking about their win against kids on Friday night the week before.
Yeah, you forget about what you did in the third round, man.
Yeah.
As you said, I was watching the Brighton game. Listen, that goalkeeper made a mistake in the last few seconds. He made 4 penalty saves. They forgot about his mistake. That made a mistake 30 minutes before that, and then he makes 4 penalty saves. They only remember that he made 4 penalty saves. The next day, he gets a new contract for 4 years. Boom.
Yeah.
Done. I think that's what you must do in football. Make 4 penalty saves. Contracts.
Next thing, but that's exactly it, right? So I mean, these youngsters are coming in going, shit. If we have a really really good game today, maybe Klopp sees something, and that's always when we were playing or when I was playing. I was always like, you never know who's watching, and especially when you play against the big guys, you really want to give it. Whereas those other dudes are world class. They're like, fuck this game. I don't want to be here. That's a shit game. Whether against these youngsters, I know we should really be. It's just all those factors accumulating. Yeah. But let's talk about the factors that didn't quite accumulate for a man's team who has been getting loud, saying Newcastle are going to finish above the other man's team in Arsenal, Wonga Denga, the Denganator. I mean, let's talk about this game.
To
be
you guys, so you go, Nick. Yeah, go, Nick.
What a rubbish game.
For me, rubbish. Yeah, in a sense, it was rubbish. But I spoke about this after Brentford, and we just want a team that tries, and I think we've at least got that. The players have a bit of desire. We've played against Man City, Liverpool, Leicester, and Arsenal since we've played against Brentford. And listen, we've got 1 point and a loss in the FA Cup out of those 4 games. But we've actually shown a little bit of hunger and desire. So I'm happy in that sense. We're in a little bit of a fight at the moment in the Premier League, and I think people think we're quite far away from it. But if we lose tonight, which is it's written all over that we're going to lose tonight against Sheffield United. If we don't show that, us as a fan base aren't going to be happy. That sort of desire and hunger. And we played an Andy Carroll who ran for 90 minutes. The guy can't run anymore. His legs are gone. He ran, and Wonga, I'm assuming you watched the game. The guy just didn't stop pressing into extra time. He had 2 great chances. Yes, he should have scored. He should have scored 100%. But you know what? I had an argument with someone
Sorry, guys.
on Twitter
Sorry,
the other
Nick,
day.
you can finish that point. I just want to say, guys, I think we need to have another show called 100% because the more when I watch this back, the amount of times we all say 100%, that's definitely on the cards for another show. Sorry, Nick, as you were.
So for me, Andy Carroll, you know, if he gets more than 10 to 15 minutes in a week, you know, when he plays for Newcastle in the league, you know, he would have put those away. I think he's a player that needs to honestly get game time to be firing, you know. And he gets into good areas, he can at least control the ball. And you're looking at a guy like Jolinton who cost us, you know, £40 million, and I speak about him every week. But you got Andy Carroll who cost us nothing, and he just needs game time. He just needs to play. You know, it's not a glamorous sort of player, but he's going to do it.
Just do what West Ham just did, man. Cut your losses, get half your money back, and then
100%. And lastly, in hindsight, if we had Callum Wilson, Wonga, the game would have been done. It wouldn't even gone to extra time. Callum Wilson would have buried both of those chances. You know, apparently him and Shelby were brought out or pulled out for precautionary reasons. I don't think so. I think he wanted to rest them because I think the big game is today against Sheffield United. Because if we lose today, we are dragged into a big fight at the bottom.
Yeah.
So, you know, well done to Arsenal. I think it was a terrible game to watch. You know, Arsenal unlocked us with a bit of quality. Should Smith Rowe have been on the field? I don't know. That's his first. He got a red card. It was overturned. If you're looking at the letter of the law, you know, his foot was above the ball. His studs were up. You know, was it a clear and obvious mistake? If we look at it from a VAR perspective, I don't think so. I personally said straight away it's not a red card. But, you know, I'm a Newcastle fan. So, you know, they go down to 10 men. He doesn't score the goal that wins the game for them. I know they won 2-0, but he scored the goal. The last goal was a sucker punch.
Nick, tell me about this kid, man. I saw people complaining that he didn't start Elliot Anderson.
Yeah, so he's a product from the academy. He's a ball player. We're hoping that he gets a bit of a run in the next couple of games, but he's comfortable. You know, he comes in, he receives the ball, he's good in tight spaces. He can find a pass. He's a willing runner in behind. But, you know, under Steve Bruce, will he be molded and coached properly? I don't think so. Under Benitez, I think he would have been groomed quite nicely. But if he does well, you might find a team in the upper echelons of the Premier League coming to pick him up. Because he's in the Premier League 2, they call it, which is the reserve under 21 league.
Yeah.
He's one of the big performers there. So I'm glad he got his debut. But yeah, we're a mixing Mickey Mouse team. We've got good pieces in areas and shit pieces in the other areas. We've got a manager who eats bacon sandwiches on the side of the field. I don't know.
I see. He made the bench. He made the bench tonight, and then I just looked at the lineup when you spoke about Shelby and Wilson, and then I was looking for Shelby and Wilson, and I didn't see Shelby on starting lineup or the bench, but then I saw Anderson and I saw a tweet, so that's why I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah. So I don't know if Shelby, you know, I still personally think Shelby has a lot to offer. I think Shelby's seen through Steve Bruce's bullshit, to be honest with you, because Shelby's a ball player. Shelby can pick a pass. Shelby knows how a team is. He's come from Liverpool. He's been through maybe not the best Liverpool team.
Shelby's an interesting player, man. He needs the right sort of manager to get that motivation steered in the right direction, because he can play when he feels like it.
No, when he feels like it. And I think if he can see that this is a ship that's sinking, he's probably got the attitude, not like a Henderson, to sort of gather the guys and say, let's get out the shit. I think he's probably like, well, you know, we're a ship that's sinking, and you know, maybe I should just mope around the field, because there's been times this season where he just does fuck all, but there's been times when he's actually just been a game changer for us. So I like him personally. I think he's one of our best midfielders, but unfortunately he's not really put into. I don't know what is going on.
Silo, what are you doing there, bro?
What happened?
Stelo's like, I've had enough of Newcastle. This is
moving.
shit. I'm actually so bored. I'm as bored as what I was when I was watching United versus Watford.
What happened?
Anyway,
In trees now.
I can't hear anything.
finish.
I've got earphones that are blocking sound, guys. So
Wonga, tell us what you thought about your team. 4 games in a
Yeah,
row.
no, look. Yeah, look, that's the positive. It's 4 games in a row. We're on a winning streak. That's the positive. I think, I mean, he made 7 changes. The only thing again is that Gabriel. That's the only thing that for me was Gabriel getting injured before. But it seems, I think it's his left ankle or something. I don't see how long he's out for. Apparently, he's still going for a scan, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he's one guy I think that just needs to be starting. But and again, it shows us. I mean, the depth in our team. If he's injured, I mean, he's come back from injury, and it looks like there's something in the team. Now he's injured, and now you worry that the team could go back a bit. Because it's and it just shows to me. It just shows that we don't have depth. And then that leads on to that thing of us now releasing Ozil. And the most frustrating thing about it is, like, even now Teta, when they asked him about it, for me it's like, so they asked him about Ozil's situation, and his first words were, "To my understanding." I'm like, what do you mean to your understanding? Like, he says to his understanding, then he says Edu's got it handled and blah 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 blah. So I'm like, what? How do you mean to understand? He's trying to shift and distance himself away from it. Then they asked him about Ozil's Twitter account. So they said that I think Ozil's going to do. They said Ozil's going to do what do they call it? A Q&A.
A Q&A. He did last night. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. But I think there was the interview after the game. So they said he's going to do a Q&A. So what do you think they're going to be asking him? So then he says that no, he doesn't follow social media. I don't have a social media account.
Doesn't he?
That's what. Man. He does. I literally follow him on Twitter. He literally says he doesn't have a Twitter account. I'm like, this guy is anything Ozil. He's just ducking. He doesn't want to even be near that situation. So for me, that's a bit rubbish, And I mean, you're saying and now.
One can ask you, man. Hey, bro. Yeah. Willian had a rubbish game.
Yes.
And that guy lost the ball. He lost the ball so much, man. He lost the ball so much. I remember there was a time when he was trying to get on the ball, and then you try to make a pass, he would lose it. Try to get on the ball, lose it. Try to make a run, get off, and man, he wasn't offering.
Silo, this is the thing. This is the thing when you're signing a player who's in the twilight of his career. His next move was obviously he leaves Chelsea. He tries to get his bumper deal. And then he gets it. And now he's got, what motivation does he need? His motivation is to secure the next contract.
Claudio, weren't we talking about this the other day? I don't know, was it me and you talking about the fact that his agent has an influence in Arsenal? Was it you who said that, or someone told me this? Or I read this somewhere. So Willian's agent.
Yeah, I did. I read this as well.
Kia Jorbushin, the guy who used to have Tevez and Mascherano as a client. That guy, he's one of the biggest South American agents. He has an influence in Arsenal apparently, or has links, ties with Arsenal, and he got the contract for Willian at Arsenal. And boom, now he's signed. He's sorted. He's got a big paycheck. He stays in London. He's got a rich.
He's living the life. He's got a rich
from Devon. What does he want with his life? He's sharp.
And see, the thing is, like, from the outside, this is. From the guys on the inside, that was a poor decision. However it came about, because if you're sitting in the inside of it, from the outside, we're saying Willian, we see him how he plays for Chelsea, and even me, I liked Willian. Yes, he was one of my favorite players when he was playing at Shakhtar, and he did very well.
Sorry, Wonga.
he did very well going to Chelsea. Looked dangerous. Yeah. I mean, most of the games he played. Then he started becoming better on his dead balls. Then he comes to Arsenal, and it's not the only case. You see, that's what I'm saying. It's not the only case. There was David Luiz. David Luiz has kind of picked up. I'll give him credit for that. Not like he was before, but he has picked up. There was I'm forgetting these names now. You guys will help me. There was that right back from Juventus.
Lichtsteiner.
Lichtsteiner. Solid. He was a solid right back. He came to Arsenal. He didn't. It looked like he hasn't played football before. He's out of position. Pop ball. His back line was there.
He signed a 34-year-old. Like, it makes sense.
Mustafi. It's so funny. It's like you can be this good player and you're a fantastic puzzle piece, but if you put into the wrong puzzle, it's almost like your joints don't move, and you kind of like you overthink things like a team of veterans.
But also Juventus, he was playing a 3-5-2, so he was playing as a wing back. So also then system, he looks better in that system, you know what I mean? And then you come to Arsenal, you have to defend more at Arsenal. Juventus, you're just always on the attack.
But think about it, now. Are you not now, if as a person at Arsenal now making these decisions, are you not making the same mistake the whole time? You got Mustafi also came in did the same thing. So now you should be saying like, okay, guys, wait.
Mustafi won the World Cup. Mustafi won the World Cup, guys. Let's give him credit, guys.
No, I agree with you, but what I'm not saying the person coming in was wrong. I'm saying whatever's happening when the guy comes, because when he plays, it's not the same thing.
Guys. I'm not saying it's. No, he's a special case because he was at Valencia doing well. He played well, and he was in this German national team 2014 World Cup. He won a medal.
How's it different to William?
There's one conclusion here. The conclusion is Arsenal kill careers, boy. They don't elevate anymore. They don't. Henry was the last player.
William is like what? Signed him at 31, 32. He won a 3-year contract, offering 2 years. He's not in the Brazil squad anymore. Come on, you guys are signing a player.
But you know what? I've got a problem. Here is Edu, who did nothing for Arsenal. I mean, he was okay. He was a good squad player. But now it's all these guys that did nothing for the club.
It's the same Edu.
Yeah. It's the same Edu. Now he's making decisions for the club, but he couldn't make decisions on the field. He wasn't good enough there, but now he's there behind the scenes.
You remember when Wenger was there? You remember Wenger was there when you're 30?
He was playing with Vieira, man. He was playing against Vieira. Them guys, come on, Vieira is like a.
You remember Wenger, even Henry, my man, when he was 30, 31. I mean, obviously Barcelona wanted him on his prime. He was a guy who would have kept, but also guy left. Bro. Wenger had that policy when a guy was over 30 for his reasons.
Also, Wonga, Robin van Persie left. He won a Premier League. Samir Nasri left, won a Premier League. Sanya left, won a Premier League. Henry left, won a La Liga and a Champions League.
So Ozil's going to leave and win a Premier League. Maybe.
No, Ozil's going to leave and win the Turkish title and Turkish Super League.
And those guys they left, but you see those guys they left on their prime. But Wenger had that policy, and I don't think even Wenger would have brought in.
Yeah, you guys didn't give long contracts to above
these old. Yeah, but now you see these guys. These guys are literally doing what they're doing. William did what instead of going to China, he's still here in England. So he said, "Oh, Arsenal, okay, take it." And the performances are like we played Fulham first game. That was he looked like he was buzzing, okay. But the rest, he's been exposed now. But now, looking flat. There's like I don't know if he's lacking motivation. He's also in a different generation to some of those guys as well. But look, the youngsters look good. That's for me a positive. The youngsters look good.
So Saliba, are you guys fine now? Eh? You guys are gonna finish in the top 4?
No. Look, they need to be making they need to be making signings this Jan. They need to sign people. If now Martinelli got injured now. They say Gabriel is back. I think Partey is back as well. But you see, Partey, one of our good players. Also him, if he gets injured, we have to play Shaka. And if you're going to play against one of the good teams,
do you think Shaka's going to stay into the season, or do you think it's one of the players that Arteta is going to say, "It's time to cull, boy. You're going to be the first on the list"? What do you think happens there?
I don't know. It looks like they love Shaka for some reason. So I would have thought they would have got rid of him a long time ago.
He's always playing.
To be honest with you, so if he's always playing, I don't see it happening. But we just have to try to keep Partey fit. But we need backup. I mean, geez. I mean, you look at Liverpool's team. If we want to be competing realistically, that's the kind of team you need to have. That's the kind of team you need to have. If you look at the past teams, like when Arsenal won the league, you look at their team from number 1 all the way up until number 22. Looked at Manchester United when they were winning the league. Same thing. I mean, you couldn't start all their players up front. I mean, they still had back up on the bench. It was ridiculous if you look at all those teams. Arsenal right now, they're saying they were asking Arteta if he's going to finish top 6. If it's likely, I was like, come on, dude, you must sign players. You can't even be talking about that. You need to be signing
players. You're not even going to finish above Newcastle, so how are you going to finish top 6?
Heck, this guy.
Arsenal 6 points. They're 6 points from top 6.
It's interesting what Nicholas saying about holding Mustafi. I heard that
Holding signed the contract.
Exactly. That's the
he
thing.
Signed that thing.
He was captain. Let's not forget he was wearing the captain's armband.
And Holding was a player. He's a player that you guys almost sent out on loan in the summer when the transfer window is open. But you guys decided to keep him because of the injuries. And look at him now. He's signed the thing.
He's captain boy.
He's even a vice captain.
Hey, Arsenal.
Yeah, but Arsenal, I don't know. Arsenal. But and look, Saliba. I mean, French league, but he played this weekend.
He's played 2 games already.
Yeah, they said this weekend is actually man of the match. In the win, and I looked at all the other loan guys. I think all the other loanees got punished, and there were like 8 or 9 of them. Seems like he's the one that's doing better out there. But I still can't understand. He needs game time. Why not play your injury list is incredible.
But he came out. You heard what he said. You heard what he said after he signed for Nice. He said the coach literally pulled him aside and said, "Listen, I don't think you're ready." And that was it.
Yeah,
that was it. But also, if you've come mentally and you're not strong enough, and you've had all these personal issues take place. And then on top of all that, you're like, okay, let me use my football as a distraction to get my life back on track, despite the personal sort of tragedy.
But also
tragedy that took place. Then it's one of those things where then the coach goes, well, no, you're not good enough. Sorry. Then your whole world's going to fall apart, and you're really not going to perform, man.
Remember Saliba?
But also the thing is, guys, like Saliba, right? Saint Etienne made it to the French Cup final, right? And it's obviously after what his contract, the length of his contract, right? So he was supposed to, let's say, end on the 31st of July or whatever, or 31st of August, extended contract or whatever, COVID contract, and then the final is on the 7th of September, a week later. What does Arsenal say? Yeah. Sorry, you can't play the final. They didn't allow him to play the French Cup final. They didn't allow him. He was fit, and he was fit. They didn't allow him. They said, no, you can't play.
That's your team, Mongo. That's your
club. I remember.
Nick, Arsenal still beat your club. So let's Jason says this. Jason says Liverpool sell and spend big. Arsenal do neither. Well, I think unfortunately Newcastle, like if we're talking about echelons, you love the echelons. I think there's Arsenal and then Newcastle are just underneath there. With the guys, that's
before we move on, Nick, another team is getting a takeover. Yes, it may be in the Championship, Derby County, but you guys are still not attractive. What's happening, man? What's happening, man?
We're attractive, but your boys there at the Premier League, your big clubs here. They don't want this thing to happen because they don't want another powerhouse.
There's 2021, okay, you get your sort of models that they're putting in the latest magazines, and then there's Newcastle who's still putting up the pinups in 1918 wartime, and that's the problem with the proposition at the moment, unfortunately. They're relying too much on the past there. But we're going to talk about the next game, guys. We're going to talk about the Man United Watford game. Settle, you admitted to sleeping during this game. That's a great fan. That's a fine, by the way.
Can I address Nee's question first before I talk about the Watford game? We need to engage our viewers, man. He said, how do I feel about the fact that we lost another semi-final? Yeah, man. Hey, listen, Nee, it's not great. 4 semi-final losses, and also when I add the Champions League exit as a type of semi-final, so a match that matters against PSG and against Leipzig. We just needed to get 1 point in 2 games, and we managed to get 0 out of those 2 games. So I don't know, man. I think is it Solskjaer's setup in those matches that doesn't allow us to win? So I definitely think against Chelsea last season in the FA Cup, he set up the team horribly wrong. And secondly, he didn't start Romero, who was the FA Cup goalkeeper up to that point, and they decided to swap him around. So some of the decisions he makes in these big games have been very poor. But I guess he needs to rectify that. Let's say tonight's another semi-final. Play against Burnley. It's a semi-final basically in terms of it means something. This match. It's a 3 points, but also it's 3 points to be top of the league with equal games after this game. So if he wins it tonight, then at least I can say that at least he's learning from his mistakes. But also let's see how he sets up. How does he set up? What's his starting lineup in a game that actually has some meaning, not just 3 points, but has a way of saying, okay, cool guys, we are 3 points ahead of Liverpool. We're going to Anfield, 3 points ahead. So that confidence booster type of thing to go into a big game like Liverpool. So let's see what it does. But yeah, the Watford game. Listen, I've been struggling with Man United matches. They've been at 10 o'clock since before Christmas. And I've watched every single game from start to finish. But game,
Still justifying that he's a hardcore United fan. We're not putting that into question.
No.
Keep going.
No. I watched this game. First half, cool. It's going well. Attacking everything, cool. We start off first 15 minutes, good. Mata looks good. Lingard looks good. Even James looks good. Van de Beek, amazing. What happens? We go into halftime. And I think that 15-minute halftime break, man. I just dozed off a bit. And the next thing I find myself and it's like 78th minute. And I'm like, oh, cool, we're still leading. No, that's okay then. You know what I mean?
But Celo, did you not fall asleep because the world's best striker came onto the field, Martial?
I actually got surprised. The fact that and Rashford came on, but the fact that you brought that, you mentioned that now. I asked Claudia. I sent Claudia an interesting stat in the group, and he didn't reply. But I understand why.
You know why I didn't reply? He loves comparing apples with bananas. He loves it. It's his favorite thing ever. It's his favorite. The conversation was at the time, and Scott was there, and Jason was there, and the conversation was, as a number 9, would you rather have Martial or Cavani start? Simple. We kept it within the constraints. We kept it within the constraints with Man United. That's all we did. We kept it there, and then all of a sudden it became no. Let me finish.
Guess what?
You sound broken.
Guess what happened, Nick? Guess what happened, right? So we went from we went from Cavani versus Martial chat to
number 9, classic number 9.
No, to Harry Kane versus Martial, right? And then.
No. But before Harry Kane came up,
yes,
Scott asked the question. It was okay. Then Harry Kane.
I was
number
okay
9.
Where did Andy Carroll fit in this one?
I was okay with Cavani versus Martial. And then guess what? Then we bring in Harry Kane into the scenario, right? And then I asked Claudio about Harry Kane or Roberto Firmino. He chose Roberto Firmino. I couldn't believe.
I get it. No, but you know what?
I couldn't shut down because we were only the 2 people on the show, so I couldn't leave him hanging. And I was like, I have to get it on. I was like, it's picking over someone who's got 150 Premier League goals. I couldn't believe it.
But wait, Stella, I see what you do here. You like a little like I was talking about Fabinho being a Chihuahua. You're being a Chihuahua now. Let me get in here. When I give my explanation, I give criteria. I don't just say, hey, it's Firmino over Kane. I said based on current chemistry and how Liverpool are playing, that is it. I'd go with that. But I did say, based on the evidence of this season as to how Kane is transforming himself, playing deeper, getting other players in, then maybe, yes, I'll consider it. I did say that, but you didn't even let me finish. Anyway,
where does Martial fit in this? Does he come top in your eyes?
So I want to see if I can share this. I want to share this with I don't know if I can share this, man. I wish I need to clean my screen.
no, but let's get back to
I need to. Can you,
stats. Look at the man doing
Look
different
at that.
jobs.
Look at
Doing
that.
different
Look at
jobs. When your
Scott,
manager comes out saying,
Scott, look at that. Martial scored 17 goals, right?
nah.
Firmino scored nine goals. How much is 18 divided by 2? It's 9.
Goals for
So
flat
goals,
number 9, and we're talking assists.
Yeah, okay. Assist. Firmino's got what? Okay, Firmino's got two.
Please.
8 assists, 2 more than Martial. Martial has 6. Firmino has 8. 8 against 6. So that means Firmino is 2 better. But Firmino played 6 games more than Martial. But Martial scored double the goals in 6 games.
I want to say that we have lost a viewer because of this foolery, this tomfoolery. People, we've lost one viewer. And you know, what's interesting is when your manager's coming out saying,
oh, yes.
you know, I don't even think Bobby.
Jason says compare Martial against Mane. Martial scored one goal less than Mane last season, but Mane played 3 more games than Martial last season. Let's carry on.
You know, I'm going to be quiet here because I have to be quiet because Celo just has his say all the time. Celo. Am I right?
Man, listen. But last week you had your say. You were on.
I didn't have my say. Look at what you're saying now. You don't even let me finish. Man, you don't even let me finish.
Scott, you started this. Wherever you are, Scotty, you started this.
Oh, man. But also, all I'm going to say before we're going to get back to the no, hang on. Let me just say this. I just want to finish. I want to say that when your manager is coming out saying, "Oh, Bobby Firmino is scoring goals," I don't even see when your whole team is set up not for this player, not to perform that function. Then how can you come out saying this is the criteria we base in? And again, we're going to go back, but this is the last thing, and we're going to leave it at that. Is that when we're talking about number 9, traditional number 9, again, the argument was Cavani or Martial. That was the argument. You have your say. Some other guys have your say. You're still going to stick with Martial. We're going to talk about Cavani. Forget about Liverpool. Liverpool aren't even in this equation when this conversation's happening.
No,
but
we spoke about Kane. I think Kane when Kane was mentioned in the comments, that's where I brought other teams into the question. But isn't it factual? There was a Kane mentioned in the comments. You know what I mean? That's where I brought out.
I don't understand why Wilson or Callum Wilson or Andy Carroll aren't mentioned when you guys are.
Callum Wilson is fine, man.
Yeah,
I haven't included Callum Wilson in my fantasy team
Smith Rowe
for this week. Smith Rowe's number 10, man. Smith Rowe's number 10, man. Relax, man.
I can play number 9, bro.
False 9.
No, but that's right. That's what it is. It's a false 9 versus a striker. So comparing the two is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous conversation. It's a ridiculous argument. But let's get back. It seemed like during the Watford game. So let's talk about tonight's game. Let's talk about the significance of tonight's game for United. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about if we're looking at who are United playing. Burnley at home. Do you think they're going to come out here and get the 3 points, Silo?
They have no choice. They have no choice today, man. They have no choice. Listen, I think often when teams get into, defining moments into their season, right? I think now is a defining moment in Man United's season. A couple of people that I follow on social media had said that, and I agreed with them. You know, I will say. You remember, you guys were trying to get me to say it. That
exactly, yeah.
You know, but
I remember.
I wanted us to get past the Christmas period and the New Year period. So the Boxing Day game and the New Year's Day game and the game in between that. And those 3 games, we won. We played Wolves, Villa, and I forgot the third team. But yeah, we managed to get past it. And I will say it. You know what I mean? I
smell a Sean Dice special on the horizon. Yeah, Shouldn't
solid
dash there.
special, a solid piece of shit in front of the goal to give United a take home.
Listen. Burnley, you know how Burnley is, guys. Remember when we had Sky on the show, guys. Remember when we had Sky on the show. If for some weird way you could get it, Claudio, if you got that video that Sky had about Burnley and just play it for our viewers again or something like that, man. Sky said it perfectly. Burnley is such a rubbish team. It's a shithouse team. It's difficult to play them. They play one way. There's no imagination. They just play long to Wood and what's the other guy's name? What's the other guy's striker?
For the winner.
It's Wood and
it's the dude that played at Southampton, man. What's his name? Rodriguez.
No, not Jay Rodriguez, man. Another guy, man. It's Wood and man, I forgot the number 9. It's the number 9 and number 10. But those guys are just Bonds. Yes, Bonds. Yeah, it was Bonds and it's Bonds and Wood. Jay Rodriguez can play football, you know what I mean? But it's Bonds and Wood starting. They are messy. They're either those guys who they'll cross the ball and they'll just jump high and then they just tower up and they just score in the box, you know what I mean? If they get a free kick, you know, they get a corner, they're gonna bombard David De Gea, you know. So it's just one of those games. And then you got James Tarkowski, also is good in the air, who's their centre back. They just got like they just like a team. Like the Sam Allardyce.
That's a £40 million worth of centre half, according to Burnley. Tarkowski.
Hey, man, he's not that bad, but not 40. Let's say 25. But you know, it's one of those, man. So let's see what happens with the game. What Scott's saying there, it's interesting. Obviously, Amad Diallo's just obviously got signed. We spoke about it briefly. He's gotten the number 19 shirt at Man United. Solskjaer said that he will train with the first team and then he'll decide if he starts off in the under 23s getting games or he gets games with the first team.
So I just want to hit the handbrake there quickly. I just want to say, guys, quickly, we're going to start with Wonga. We're going to go to Nick. Then we're going to go to you. And then we're going to... actually, let's not do that. We're going to go Wonga, Nick, me, and then we're going to end off with you. In terms of our prediction for this game, Wonga, what do you think is going to happen tonight with Burnley, Man United?
I want a 1-1 draw. I think it is possible as well. It's like I think Man United. It's going to be like a semi-final for them. It'll be and they've been struggling with that thing. Let's see if Solskjaer gets past it. I say 1-1.
Cool. Nick,
when last were you first, Silo? It's been a while, huh?
2017. Sometime in 2017, like October or something.
Yeah, I think you guys will. Your away form is too good. You will win. It won't be a nice game to watch, but I think it will be a 2-1 or 1-0 win there for you.
Yeah, I say bring it on, man. I reckon they're going to win 1-0 as well, Man United. And then I think the game on the weekend is going to be feisty, but we'll talk about that on Thursday. So, Selo, what are your overall predictions for that one?
Yeah, I think tonight we're going to win 3-1. It's going to be a 3-1 victory to Man United. Away form has been good. I think, man, they need to show up. Players are excited for this. Some players rested on the weekend, which was good. Cavani's back in the squad, so I think Cavani should start in the middle. Rashford on the right, Marshall on the left. Let's attack them. Guns blazing, 3-1. Let's go for it.
Cool, man. And then a score update from the Sheffield Newcastle. I know Nick's watching the game as we speak, so if he's gone quiet and he's looking a bit like a ghost, it's just because he's very focused on the Sheffield game and he's worried about getting pulled into the relegation battle. Still 0-0, 25 minutes have gone. One last game before we go, guys. I want to talk about... Scott, by the way, says 2-0 to United win. So I think...
Can't we give a prediction on the game that's going on, man?
I mean, we can. So
I think it's going to be a 1-0 win to Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at the stats here already, guys. I told you we haven't outplayed anybody. We haven't had possession more than anybody in the Premier League. We're playing against a team. We're playing against a team. Listen, we're playing against a team that's last on the log with 1 point, and we've got 38% possession. It's just embarrassing. It just shows you how clueless. When you guys think I'm being, sort of hard on my manager and maybe hard on Steve Bruce, this is exactly what I'm telling you about.
0 shots at goal for Newcastle, 4 shots for what's this called, Sheffield. 161 passes, 105 for shit. Oh wow.
Scott far.
Listen,
the most realistic prediction there.
Guys, you know how bad it is, guys. Every stat I'm looking at, it's 0-0. It's 0 for Newcastle. So every stat, corner kicks 0, shots 0. Like guys, it's just 0, just 0. Like,
all right, 0-0. So 0-0. Scott's saying 5-0, guys. I just want to say this. Talk about this last game here, and Mourinho's being very grumpy. This Aston Villa versus Tottenham.
No. It's cancelled. It's
yeah, but that's why I'm mentioning it. Is because it's been postponed, and the man is very grumpy. To the point that he said he's been preparing for the game because obviously the Liverpool Aston Villa game happened on the weekend. My question to you guys is that how does the game get approved for the FA Cup game, but now suddenly for the Premier League game when it's Spurs, and rightly so as a manager, Nick, seeing as you're going to be coaching now, if you find yourself in a position to play a weakened Aston Villa side and somewhat guarantees the 3 points, would you not be a bit more aggrieved?
No, you take it. Yeah, you would. I mean, you see that as a free, not a free hit. You see that as a sort of 3 points in the bag already. You know, they won't have to do much. Listen, they still have to go and show up and go get 3 points. But I mean, I don't see why should that be allowed? Why can they play against Liverpool in the FA Cup? You know, suspensions. For example, if you look at it, suspensions roll over in the League Cup and the FA Cup for the Premier League because you're playing in an FA run. That's on an FA run tournament, the Premier League, but it is administered by the FA and it's affiliated. Why the hell should this not be the case? And Villa will have enough players because they have enough homegrown players. So you allow 25 players in your squad, but you allowed as many homegrown players as you want. So that list is unlimited. So that's why those kids can come and play. So essentially, why did the game go ahead against Liverpool? That's
also my next. But my next question, sorry, Wonga, then you can finish that. My next question was exactly that. City had 2 players at the time that were tested positive. 2 players. You're going to mention other guys, but the reports, according to everything else, it was 2 first-team players, and that game was called off, which is also very interesting. So why does that game?
Claudio, I don't. But they don't agree, Claudio, because
I'm just posing the question, Wonga. What did you want to say?
Okay, Wonga, go before.
Yeah, look, I was just saying it's in terms of the Tottenham game, and I heard Bruno's frustration was that it's basically going to say it's going to bite them. It's going to bite them later in the league, and I think it is, for me, it is unfair because now if you look at it now, like Nick said, it's 3 points. Later in the league, we don't know what can happen, but the roles could be reversed because if they start backlogging many games, then Tottenham's going to have weeks, almost like the same here in South Africa, where some teams you find them playing 3 or 4 league games in 1 week. And then who's at a disadvantage now at that point in time? So the roles will never be perfect.
I think also with the City game, and that's why I'm also cautious to have an opinion with regards to this, is I don't think we are always in the
sorry, Nick. I just want to say, guys, this is a typical manager. Yeah, you see that he's pulling Arteta moves. Yeah, he's ducking and diving. Yeah, so sorry, keep going.
But we're not necessarily all in the. We probably don't have all the information. You know, for example, City situation. Yes, they maybe had 2 cases, but maybe they just didn't have any idea. No, let me finish. Maybe they had no idea how much exposure to the rest of the group. So maybe they had no idea how many players or staff members were infected, for example. So I do understand from that perspective because the exposure. So the rules of COVID are the ABCs of COVID. If you are exposed to someone, go and isolate. So if they maybe only found out a couple of hours before that there's 2, but maybe those 2 players were exposed to the rest of the squad a couple of hours prior, you know, who's to say they're not also? So I can understand the technicalities with it, but it does seem like there are rules for certain clubs.
Guys,
I agree. I'm saying this from Liverpool fans as well. We got to play.
It's also true. It's also, guys. Don't forget as well, guys. It's a FA Cup. It's a once-off, right? It's a once-off match. How much do you prioritize that match for your team, right? I am willing. I can put in my kids for this team. I don't mind, right? But for the league, the league is mandatory for me. If I finish 8th in the league, 7th in the league, it's more valuable than me getting to the 4th round of the FA Cup and losing in the 4th round of the FA Cup against against Man United, because now that Liverpool is going to play,
football's done. Football's done if we've got that mentality.
No, but that's the way I see it from Villa's point of view, right?
Yeah.
And because none of Villa's first team players could have been available for tonight, and the quarantine only ends on Friday, so it'll be interesting to see are they available to play on Saturday. But I want to go back to the City point that Claudia cut me off on.
But hang on, man.
Claudia, you cut me off the City point. The City point, you cut me off. The City point, right? I'm not a Manchester City fan, but the City thing is, Gabriel Jesus and Walker had tested positive, right? Then they played that immediate game, right? Then the following game, they didn't play because more people tested positive. So it's going to be 5 players unavailable.
But that wasn't reported. That wasn't
but
reported.
now we know Ferran Torres has COVID. We know Ferran Torres can't play now. Laporte, I think, is the other player, and I forgot and Edison. Edison hasn't been playing because he's been exposed, right? So it's been Ferran Torres, Edison, and I think it's Laporte, but I need to confirm if it's Laporte. And then Gabriel Jesus and Walker only played this weekend because they out of their isolation. And those other 3 players, Edison couldn't play yet, and he's only available now again. But Edison hadn't tested positive, but he had been exposed to Jesus. You know what I mean? So that's how it worked out for City, right? And I know it's rubbish, guys. It's a fluid environment, guys. We don't know what's going to happen.
But even remember last year with the, but that's what I'm saying. If it can't just be based on availability of the players, because if you looked at, and you're saying it's 5 players. Remember last year Liverpool had an impossible task to play 2 games in. They played 2 games on the same day. Was it one or like a couple of hours after?
Club World Cup.
Yeah, that was yes. Think about that. It's almost the same thing now. So Liverpool weren't missing 5 players. You literally, my manager must go.
And that's the FA Cup situation again. The Premier League would have never scheduled a game, a club on the Club World Cup calendar. They knew the Club World Cup calendar.
Was it FA Cup game?
It was FA Cup game that they played.
It was FA Cup.
It was FA Cup against Villa.
Oh, it was, yes.
It was League Cup. I don't know. It wasn't Premier League.
Right.
Premier League would never do that. They know scheduling properly. Okay, they rubbish in scheduling sometimes, but they know this stuff. Claudia, are you burning inside? Speak, my brother.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say that, you point out two valid things. And the 2 valid things are, one, you said obviously the one is the FA and the other one's the Premier League. So different organizations, all big cocks trying to outdo one another and see who can make the competition more successful. We know the FA's fallen behind. And like you said, the Premier League do have more of a say when it comes to these things because of the financial pool that they have. But the one thing I do want to say this, when we are comparing a Villa and we are comparing a Man City, and like Nick says here, the FA Cup for Aston Villa, a big thing. And considering that they gave Liverpool 7-0, let's take into consideration if their team is fit on a cup game sort of scenario. There's no real reason that they can't beat Liverpool despite the current form that they were in. So yeah, postpone the game if they're not available. In City scenario, some of the players might have had COVID, whether 2, 3, 4, 5. But the squad scenario compared to Villa is very different. They are still able or capable of putting out a team that's more than capable of getting a result versus a Villa.
100%.
So then this is where, so it just comes down to the fact that, it's the 2 different organizations making the decisions. It's got nothing to do with that, but it does come across like Mourinho's got every right to be upset as well. In my
100%.
side.
No, I agree. The Mourinho part to be angry is very valid. You play against Marine. You're done on the Saturday or Sunday, whenever they played Marine. Then you're like, cool, sharp. Now, guys, we're gonna play Aston Villa. Let's prepare. Hey, man, Jack Grealish, Matty Cash, Al Ghazi, Watkins. That's what you guys need to do. Training. Hey, we need to do this. Whatever. Oh, hey, sorry, guys. You players are playing Fulham. What? Like now, what the flip? I'm playing Fulham. Now I have to change my mind. Now I'm not playing again. I'm not going to the Midlands to Villa Park. Now I'm playing Craven Cottage or whichever one. I'm playing at home. Now it's a mindset change and training ground and everything. And I think it's been badly handled. And I think they should have not done it this way for like Mourinho, because also initially the Fulham game, when they were supposed to play it initially, they only told Mourinho 5 hours before kickoff. I think it was
Exactly.
on the day. You know what I mean? And also that Man City and Everton one was also on the day. 4 or 5 hours before the kickoff instead of 24 hours. If you tell someone 24 hours before, at least you told me 24 hours before.
Yeah.
But if you tell someone 5 hours, 6 hours, it's rubbish.
Yeah, and also before I go, because I got to wrap this up because I still got to get home. Curfew's at 9. I just do want to say this: that if Man City, for example, they get that game in hand. Currently, as we speak, they've got 2 games in hand, and all of a sudden they're back in the league race or the league title race. If they play that game with a weakened squad and somewhat lose it, that's at the advantage of a United and a Liverpool and a Leicester. But now they've particularly postponed that, all of a sudden they're back in the race, gone quiet about their business, and no one's saying anything. Anyway, guys, final thoughts everyone's saying before we go. Let's hear it.
God bless Newcastle United.
I have no final thoughts. I'm just happy Arsenal are winning. That's all.
That's a thought. Still?
Yeah, no. I'm all good. I think Claudio tonight maybe wanted to kill me, guys. So
I don't want to kill no one. I don't want to kill anyone.
What I will say, this is one of our feistiest shows. And Scott,
I'm just glad to be alive, guys.
One of our feistiest shows.
All right, lads. On that note, if you don't know what to be
cool.
That's the one, Stella. Yes, man. The yin to my yang, rather. All right, cheers, everybody. Have a good evening. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and do the thing. Share this. And Scott, if you really like us, get more of your friends on the show. Come on, man.